Hi beautiful people, welcome back to Peluca Party. I'm Lady M, and if it's your first time, get into it honey. I'm an artist, mother, and drag queen living in New York City, hustling to make ends meet and pay for my children. Today we're going to show you fashion and art in only the ways I can. So I make a lot of things on my own, including this glamorous updo, which I'll show you today, and this lovely pattern mixed wrap top. Buckle up, buckaroos. Are you ready? Get in, guys. We're going along for a ride. Hello, fashion lovers. Today we're going to make a wrap blouse from Mood. It's a free pattern. It's called Tacoma if you're looking to find it on their website. If you look closely, you'll notice this pattern is a little different, a little boxier, almost a little origami-like compared to a traditional shirt pattern. So with that comes its own unique set of challenges. As you can see, this was a very large pattern, so it did take some time to piece and taper together. Next up, we're going to lay out our fabrics. We have a sort of sheer, blousey animal print and a sort of swirly gold, a little bit of a crisper cotton. Just as important as pattern selection is fabric selection. So in mixing these two, I wanted to create some contrast and visual interest, as well as use the sort of drapey or blousey pattern for the body and the sleeve portion, and give you a little more structure in the collar, as well as in the ties that go right around the waist, the sort of sash element. I think our inspiration for this sort of piece and why we like to make separates is to just get more versatility out of our drag and just sort of have some different daytime elements we can mix with other sort of fancier nighttime pieces as well. In this portion of the sewing, we decided to go with French seams, which seemed like an obvious solution for us due to the light sheer fabric we were working with and just how we really wanted it to be a professional looking garment. Breaking out the iron to press our seams and keep everything looking nice. Really important when you're doing garments that are semi-sheer or fully sheer to make sure they look good inside and out, because you are going to see both sides of the seams. Et voila, we have our beautiful French seams. As you can see, both sides exactly the same inside and out, and it's just a beautiful, useful tool to have in any home sewist or drag queen's toolbox. We love Mood patterns because they're much clearer in different regards than other patterns. They have picture instructions sometimes, as well as the written verbal step-by-step instructions, so definitely recommend checking those out if you haven't ever used a Mood pattern before. Instruction time, starting with the first tie, stitching up the back, laying out and then attaching the collar, and then attaching the second tie. Here we have our peplum, which kind of resembles a crescent shape. Here's our daytime diva, ready to take on the town and whatever may come her way. Pair her with sensible slacks or a pencil skirt. She's ready for a brunch trip or just to the grocery store to buy quinoa. Back again. Here we are with a wig styling session once again. We have a lovely little chocolate number with some additional wefts that we have sewn in, all materials from How's Your Head Wigs, styled by us. Our goal for this restyle is to take her from our look we did in our solid gold biker photo shoot, which you can find on our Instagram, House of Mulligatawny, and turn her into a transitional style. We're thinking 60s, easy breezy updo, Brigitte Bardot, slightly messy, not too perfect, so we're going to do a lot of it with pins and no cutting, which is always good, and keep her something fluid so she can always be restyled again and again. The goal with this transitional style is when we're done with this, she'll just be ready to steam, pop the pins out, and then she's on to something else. With all that prep work done, we can get to sectioning out our front section, which I'm referring to as a faux bang because I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to sort of hide the end up underneath with a pin, so it gives you that sort of bang effect without having to do any cutting on this wig. This will leave her versatile for various future endeavors and styling expeditions. At this point, we start the actual updo process of the updo, And while I would definitely not consider myself an expert at updos, I learn from my mistakes and I get better every time. So we take our harder boar bristle brush and we're slowly coaxing the fibers upward, going from the nape of the neck. You can also use a hair dryer very carefully to smooth them out, at least on the top layer, which is another great way to get a slick updo I've seen people do. When we feel we've got enough of a handle on her and she's smooth enough, we break out our zip ties so we can secure this ponytail. Ideally, with one hand you hold the ponytail and the other hand you zip tie, but sometimes you just need an extra set of hands because she's too much to handle. I usually use 2 zip ties to secure her, and once I've snipped off the ends, I stick 2 pins crossing each other right under the ponytail, and that also adds an additional level of security to the ponytail. I've started to slick her up and give her a little teasing behind there, give her a little bump, and then gently place and smooth out the swirls for the faux bang. You can see I tried to be clever with the swirls and also hide the pins in the process. This part for me is usually very trial and error. I sometimes reference off camera on my phone. I look up vintage photos that I might have in a reference folder or just on Pinterest. Now that the front is done, we move on to the back. I take small sections, I try to vary them. This part is also definitely personal preference, but I definitely added some barrel curls, some loops, all sort of different things, all the while trying to make sure it was balanced on the left and the right side of the head. So I definitely spin her around a lot and look at it from different angles to make sure I'm giving her an even look, which is what I wanted. The goal was to place the pieces in a way that they sort of interwove, almost like little puzzle pieces of hair fitting nicely together. I hope you can see in the different angles of shots we've tried to give you sort of the same thing that I'm doing in person while I'm styling, which is to look at it from the back, the sides. Sometimes I even look at the hair from like below and above, just so that I'm getting a different perspective, because somebody might see it from below if they're shorter than me when I'm in drag. So I know it's a little OCD, but these are some of the random things I think about when I style hair. At this point of the styling process, I'm just trying to look for any dead spaces. Maybe there's a spot where you can see the zip tie for some reason. Even though with the headscarf we're going to cover it, I still like to cover all my bases just in case. Now we've broken out the headscarf and I'm just trying to make sure I put her on evenly. I've stuck 1 pin in the back. I'm going to probably put a couple secret pins up behind the bang where you won't see them. Even though she's tied, I want to make sure she lays perfect with the hair. And that's our glamorous updo. Not too fussy, not too messy, giving you daytime diva, going to a luncheon, maybe she has a charity function. This hair can go so many places and can be applicable to so many styles.
Hello, if you've got this far, thank you for watching. Lady M appreciates you. Hopefully you're feeling inspired, or maybe you just learned a few more tips today. Stay tuned for more videos with drag crafting, fashion, and glamour. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe.